Story or unsub? Story? Okay, fine, I'll tell the fucking story. So this is what happened. I was at TwitchCon, and there's Link. Okay, she wants to go hang out with Celeste at a party. Okay, and I didn't want to go to the party because I don't feel like partying because I don't like to party. Okay, so I said, look, let's just split up. You know, I want to go do something else. I was getting invited by the poker pros from who stream on Twitch to go play poker. You know, I was like, okay, that sounds really exciting because I like playing poker. So I was like, let's just split up. She's like, no, I don't want to split up. You know, I want to be with you. That's nice. Okay, so I'm like, okay. Um, I'm like, okay. This is like my therapy session, right? I say, okay. You'll just come with me to play poker. I'll try to just play for an hour, but it might go a little longer, you know. And she's like, okay. After that, we'll go to the party. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But you know, really, I don't want to. I said that even. Anyway, we go to the poker place. It's at Twitch headquarters, and I go play with all the poker pros. It was really exciting to me. I never got to do something like that before, you know. I'm playing with like fucking Phil Hellmuth and like Elky and Anoko and some other people who stream on Twitch playing poker. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay, so actually, the first couple hands I got really amazing hands. It was exciting, but I didn't make too much with them. But I just was getting like I got like pocket tens, like ace queen, you know, like good hands. In the first couple hands, which is above average. It felt good. Anyway, I bluffed some guy with the pocket tens. When there was the flop came queen high, and he actually had a queen and he bet and I called, and then the ace came on the turn. He just checked and I bet. Nothing too exciting, and he folded. Okay, and then I had 2-7, and everyone was playing. We were playing the game where if you win with 2-7, everyone gives you $50. So I tried to win with 2-7, and then Anoko raised, and I called, and two other people called, and then he bet the flop, and I just called, and someone else called, and then on the turn, everyone checked, and I bet with my 2-7, and I won, and I showed my hand, and everyone had to give me $50, the whole table, which is kind of cool, whatever. Anyway, I was having a good time, you know, and then you know, she wanted to go to the party. At this point, this is when okay. So I was like, okay, well, I you know, text them to make sure the party's actually still going. Yeah. So she texts them. I text Celeste, and Celeste says everyone's asleep. The party's dead. Okay, so this is like 1:30 a.m. maybe, I don't know. On Friday at TwitchCon, and I'm like, okay, well.
I gave you dollars, so now I'm a psychologist eligible. Play the song Feels Goodman Unicorns.
Okay, after my story. So, that actually interrupted my story and I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, man. Okay, damn it. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so she texted Celeste. Celeste said everyone was asleep. Oh, man. Just gonna turn it off.
Knock, knock, who? I am Joe, who? John?
Okay, turn off the Twitch alerts. So, I texted. She texted Celeste. Everyone's asleep at the party anyway. I'm like, okay, I just want to stay and play poker more then. And she's like, okay. That's what she was like. Like obviously she didn't want to do it, but I was like, okay, you know, she's gonna make this sacrifice for me because I really like to do what I'm doing. Start over. So, so I keep playing and actually things are going very well. But obviously she's not happy for me. She doesn't give a shit. And I'm having a good time. We played one hand of. I suggested that we play one hand of Pot Limit Omaha with one card of our 4 cards face up, which I thought was a really interesting game dynamic. And it like everyone was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. So we did it, and my face up card was an Ace of Hearts. And then Sticky Rice, he's a guy who streams on Twitch. His face up card was a Queen of Spades. So I get into this hand, and the flop comes Ace 6-5 with 2 spades. So I was like, okay, he probably has a flush draw. And then anyway, look at my other fucking cards, because we're allowed to look at our cards. It's just we have one card face up, and I'm allowed to look at that card. Okay. And then I actually have pocket aces with the spades. But I have an Ace of Hearts, so it seems like my hand is like actually not that strong. Just an ace. You know, he might have like a good draw or something. But I had pocket aces, so I had 3 aces, best possible hand at the time, with the draw to the flush, like nut. Okay. So I'm like, holy fucking shit, it's ridiculous. But then, yeah, I just bet out, and I know he's gonna call because he probably has another spade because he has 3 other cards, so he's probably gonna call with a flush draw. I just bet out my insanely strong hand because I don't give a fuck, you know, like full pot. And then he calls, and then it comes the spade, and then I know he probably has a flush, so I check, and then he bets, and then I go all in. He calls, and I win this huge ass pot. I'm like, okay, cool, you know. And then I actually felt bad because he got fucking like I got such an amazing hand. I got so fucking lucky in that first hand. Anyway, uh, I had him covered, so then he stopped, playing. He left a little after that, and then ends up I'm obviously having a lot of fun, and she's like, okay, she just like, touched me a little, and she wanted to go, and I felt bad, but I really wanted to play a little more. So it had been like 2 hours, and I said 1 hour, and I ended up playing 30 more minutes, and at the very last second, I won like 3,000 or something in the last hand, but she wasn't happy for me at all. She didn't care. But I was just like having fun, and then uh, so then we get up to go, and I know she's gonna be mad. I know she's gonna be mad. So we get up to go, and at like the table, everyone was ready to stop. We all were stopping at the same time. It's like maybe it's 3 a.m. now. I don't know. So it's been 2.5 hours or something. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was 2.5 hours instead of 1 hour. And I was like, okay, Blue, look, I'm really sorry. I know, like, okay, I know you really didn't want to sit behind me and be bored, but the party was over anyway after the hour. I'm really sorry. I enjoyed this experience was so fun for me. I'm sorry you had to sit there and do nothing. Okay. And I just said that before she said anything because I knew she was gonna be mad at me because she's always mad at me. And then she didn't respond. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is one of those really bad situations. Okay. So we get outside and I call the Uber and I said, okay, the Uber's around the corner because the Uber was around the corner. I don't know. It didn't pick us up the right spot. And I started walking and I turned around and she wasn't walking. She was just like this. Far as fuck, right? So I'm like, okay, she's really, really fucking mad. What do I do? I don't know. So I go, look, I'm really sorry. I really had fun. I'm glad you made that sacrifice for me to sit there for 2.5 hours. I know it was boring as fuck and you did absolutely nothing, but I love you. I'm sorry. And she said, I want to break up. So I was just like that. They're so ridiculous. Like, you can't be happy for me for one fucking second that I just had a lot of fun. And I don't know. And then I was just like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was just like, "What the fuck?" I don't know. I was like, "Okay," I just thought it was so fucking stupid. And then, um, I was like, "Okay, okay, we gotta get in the Uber. It's waiting." I was just like, finally, like after a couple minutes, I got her to start walking toward the Uber. I just told the Uber like to reverse a little because she's walking slow or something. After I got in, and she got in the car. We got back to the hotel, and she's still like being really mean. And then we're like in bed, like facing the other way, like whatever. And she turns over and randomly, just out of nowhere, punches me her absolute hardest 3 times. Like just if the roles were reversed and she was a guy and I was a girl, like she would go, the other person would go to jail. It was like fucking like what the fuck. It was just as hard as she possibly could. I was like, okay, what the fuck, this girl's crazy. Like, Jesus Christ. She can't. I do shit like this for her all the time. I fucking like drive her to school when she just feels like she wants me to drive her to school so she feels for fun when she could drive herself and just I don't know, like it's ridiculous. And then I she starts crying and I'm like, oh my god, she's crying, like she's the victim, like what the fuck, like I don't know, it's so annoying. And I was just like, didn't know what to do. So I don't know. I'm just like, okay, look, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry I stayed that long. Okay, it's just everything. I don't know, whatever. And she's crying, like saying random shit, and girls always do. And then she decides she wants to be back together, and I was like, no, I don't want to be back together. I'm like, I wasn't into this relationship anymore. Just after these kind of things have happened a couple times, but this was like the most serious one. It was like really annoying. And I was like, she seemed like such a perfect girl before, but then she was like she just couldn't make little sacrifices for me here and there when I felt like I was making sacrifices for her. And then I don't know, she somehow was crying forever and like convinced me we should get back together, and she's sorry, and she's really sorry, and she's never done something like that before, and whatever. And I was stupid, and I said, okay, fine, you know, because I just like didn't know what the fuck to do. It was like an hour in bed where she's crying. I don't know. We're at TwitchCon. I'm gonna wake up for TwitchCon tomorrow. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll stay with her, and I don't know, maybe it'll be different, you know. So I wake up the next day, and I was just like, I was just, you know, not in a mood where I really like her, but we were technically together, you know. And I was like really like flirtatiously texting some girl the next day when I woke up when she was in the bathroom getting ready. I was just that's what happened, and that's why I cheated on her and we broke up. I didn't actually cheat on her. I mean, it's cheating to text another person when you're with someone, but yeah, that's what happened. That's the whole story. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. The girl wasn't even at TwitchCon. I was texting. So I wasn't actually trying to hook up with her. What did the text say? No, it was like the texts were very sexual. Okay, it was like I'm not gonna lie, you know, it was, yeah, but it was just like I wasn't trying to hook up with anyone. Yeah, I don't know, just wasn't feeling it. But yeah, I should have just broke up with her, you know, instead. But now I just like was seen as the victim. I mean, she was seen as the victim the whole time, and yeah, I guess she is still sort of, you know. But it just, I didn't mind. I was just letting it go. But maybe I should just get it out there. Fuck it. Who cares? I don't know. I told my mom and everything, like as it was happening, what was happening and stuff. So I felt good about telling my mom because she was like supportive. I don't want to say who the girl was because that's a lot of drama. Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for supporting me more than anyone else this year, because, well, except for Greg, because I feel like my life's really been going downhill, you know. Yesterday, I opened a video of myself streaming, and it was 3 years ago, and I had more viewers than I have now, and I had like half as many views already, and I was like at the top of Twitch, and now I'm just a pleb. Things are just getting worse and worse. My hair's going away. I have to wear hats now. If someone stands behind me, I get nervous. They're gonna see my weakness up top. I don't know what I want to play. Every game is so boring. Hearthstone is just fucking shitfest. You just lose half the time to people with Down syndrome. Sorry to anyone who had Down syndrome in chat. You guys are bros too, but I don't want to spend my life losing to you in games. I don't know what I want to play. League of Legends looks so boring and everyone plays that. World of Warcraft's dead. I hope this Overwatch game is good, but honestly, I mean, Blizzard Entertainment fucks everything up. I'm putting my whole life in their hands. I've done that since I was 16. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It fucks up, man. What if that game sucks, man? Nothing brings me happiness anymore. I just play RGS shit and gamble.